Ciao guys, welcome back to the ARTFUL Podcast. It's Matteo, your host. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment down below. Let's grow this art community together. And no further ado, let's go on with a new episode. You just back home from work?
From work, yes, exactly.
Say it was a long day.
It's always a long day, yes.
So in this new episode of the ARTFUL Podcast, guys, we are joined by Dana. She's calling from Canada. I saw her lovely paintings on Instagram, and I was really curious to talk to you about your process and about why did you get into art and all that. But before we go into that, why you don't introduce yourself? Just a little bit of your background, and so people can just get an idea.
Sure. Yeah, my background, well, my name is Dana. I live in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I am a painter by morning and evening. My background is not in art. I have never taken any post-secondary art classes. I just did it in my spare time. Whenever I had time, I kind of explored things. My background is in how should I say this? In psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a specialized course when I was in college to work with any number of people who are experiencing difficulties of any kind. And yeah, so I started doing that when I was 16. And from there, I just continued with that line of work. And when I was in my early 20s, I started using watercolors and doing portraits. And then I met a person who's also an artist, a friend of mine. Her name is Olga. And she encouraged me to start painting. And I'd never really done it before outside of high school. So it started very, very slow. And I was basically just exploring different mediums.
I see.
And yeah, and I would pick it up here and there, but it was never like all the time. And then I started doing portraits of anyone, often older people because they have more character in their face. And then when COVID happened, I was like, well, I would like to try acrylic paint. I'd never done it before. And from there, I really just started, I don't
That's
know,
great.
playing around and yeah.
Nice. So it was always in your mind to kind of like start painting, and or it was because your friends suggested you to try, and then you give it a go and you liked it.
It was her
Amazing.
suggestion. I told her that I always loved art. I did what most kids do, like drawing here and there, but I never used it as an outlet before. I never really explored it.
How was the first approach with like all like paintings, drawings? Was it like difficult, or did you find yourself? Yeah.
It was very difficult. I think I started first kind of doing like outside in like plein air, basically looking at my surroundings and painting with watercolor in outside or inside, whatever I could see. And then I was just exploring, just drawing really whatever. And I will be honest, it was terrible. All of it was very terrible. I still have it. I keep it as a reminder,
Where did you start from? And
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
the
man,
beginning it's always the beginning it's always like, yeah,
really rough.
it's a tough approach.
Yes.
Because it's such a visual thing, and then you can see how terrible you
Yeah.
are, and you always
Yes.
like, oh,
God,
why am I doing this? Like,
totally. Uh, and it's actually interesting that I even continued. I would share things with my mom or with my friends, and they would encourage me, even though like it sucked. But they were encouraging me.
why did you think you continued? Did
I think I
you?
just enjoyed the
Mm,
how relaxing it was for
mm,
me, how I was able to kind of turn off my brain in that time and just connect with myself and have something that I've made, even if I didn't
mm,
love it. But then I did see it progress. I did see it get better.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after a
the the
daily
the
practice.
whole, yeah, the creativity process, it was, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
was really interesting for
Mm-hmm.
you. Um, so how do you usually work now? Is that with acrylic, and why do you choose like the subject that you choose? Because what I noticed, it's you do you I it's kind of surprised that you said you do portrait, because I haven't seen any
Mm.
portrait really in your Instagram.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Um,
I don't do any anymore.
yeah, it's so, but what I noticed is that you do landscape of like I don't know how to explain, like inside rooms, or like
Hmm.
but it's really like a details of the room of the landscape. So it's really kind of like close up. Like, why did
Yep.
you? So let's start first. How do you do your process, and what does it capture your attention? Like, why do you feel like you have to paint that?
Uh, yeah, that's a tricky question to answer. I think
Mm,
I really go off of colors. I really like to like in my paintings. Often you can see there's like kind of a theme
mm,
of colors that I like to stick to. Because for me, those are my favorite colors. It's not that I can't paint with the other
mm,
colors, but I really like those colors. So when I look at a room, I go off of that. Like, can I incorporate the colors that I like? Because I don't do exactly what I see in either real life or the image that I'm painting. I incorporate my own colors and my own
I see.
perspective of that space.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you're like walking to a room, or like, do you see the room in your head as a painting? I don't know if it makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah,
Yes, I do.
it's such a weird it's such a weird feeling, because I do
It
portrait,
is.
and when I see people, and their face is really interesting, my
Hmm.
mind just goes straight, or that face, and I start thinking about how to paint it, and it just, there is a whole process in my head, and nobody's aware of, and and I'm like,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's such
It's
a weird process.
That's exactly what it is. I see even like in my own home or other people's homes, sometimes I will take pictures of spaces
I see.
and I will save them for future paintings. And sometimes I paint them and sometimes they lose meaning for me and I don't end up painting them.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that you it's really particular that you use pretty small format. I haven't seen any really big painting.
No, very
Is that
small formats. Yeah.
is there a specific reason for it, or you just, I don't know, you feel more comfortable in that?
I feel more comfortable with that
Mm,
size. I also live in a small space. I don't have
mm,
a anywhere fancy that I'm going to paint. I'm painting in my kitchen. Um, and I turn my own home into my own studio. So really I don't have the
mm,
space right now to do it. I've had ideas of like using part of like a wall like this to put a big canvas here
yeah.
and do a painting like that, but I don't know what that would look like. Uh Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe,
So for
yeah,
now it's a
maybe you
small
can try later. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, eventually I would like to, but for now it's smaller paintings and then 9 by 12, which is slightly larger.
Mm.
Um
It's
and yeah,
it's always a bit scary when, especially when you get
mm,
used to a certain like format and even media as well.
yes,
Getting to find the courage to change, and there is a completely different process even for like just bigger painting.
absolutely.
It's completely
Yeah.
different. Did you see your art like change through time? Because you said you started like
Hmm.
like while ago, but then
Hmm.
you took it into another level like during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Did it
I
change
really,
through? Yeah.
yeah, well, I started during the pandemic. At the beginning of the pandemic, I'm still painting very similarly to then, but uh I guess maybe
Mm,
the ability has changed. So it's a bit, and I hope that it will continue to evolve, but it started with still life, and I still love painting still life.
mm,
I also was doing room portraits, but the still life was really the main focus. And now I'm more into dinner scenes and kind of more romantic settings. That's what I like to focus on, like dinner settings, kind of like messy looking dinner situations. And
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I that's
so
the now that you mentioned, that's kind of the feeling that I got when I was looking through your paintings. That small, cozy, like romantic
yes,
scene. Yeah, I like that.
yes,
I like that.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
comes really through your painting. And you mentioned a particular choice of the colors that you stick to. Um,
Hmm.
is there a reason for like those colors in particular that like they remind you of something particular moment in your life or of some people in your life, or is it just like pure like that's what you like aesthetic like?
I think that's what I like. Those are the combinations I like. They're
Hmm.
often like creams, pinks. I like putting very fluorescent pink into incorporating it into pretty much every painting I do.
Hmm.
Um, Greens, because I like that combination because they are complementary colors, so they kind of will just naturally go together. And then I can put other little smaller um colors in, like purple or
Hmm.
yellow, but the main focus, and I think it's maybe just because pink isn't even my favorite color, really, but I think I like the way it looks when I paint with it, and I maybe associate it with a sort of romanticism.
Hmm.
So it just kind of
To
works well
It
into
helps you to
my
create that environment, that cozy romantic scene. I see.
exactly. Yeah.
I see.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. I like that. Um, no, it doesn't really come true. I'm gonna try to put some picture through the video so people can kind of like have an idea what we're talking about, and
Hmm.
it does really come through that kind of sense of, yeah, um, romantic, cozy, and calm, like a really like okay, like a specific calm moment that's happening.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's really nice. The way you capture those moments. Did
Thank
you?
you.
Why did you from because you start from portrait and then you now on like still life and then
Hmm.
like some like room studies and
Yeah.
paintings like why did you kind of change the subjects and why you sticking to this subject in particular?
Yeah, I've done some outdoor scenes, but they
Mm-hmm.
aren't my favorite because, for me anyway, I don't feel there's a lot of detail, enough detail for me. Like and I follow a lot of artists that do outdoor scenes, and they are very detailed and they're beautiful, and I love them. But I feel for me, I'm not able to, at this point, like portray them in a way that will do them justice.
Mm,
So I just feel more comfortable with the small spaces. I'm sticking to those. And as for like going between the two, it really just depends on my mood and what I feel like that day. Sometimes I do flowers, sometimes I do
that's good.
what it
That's great. I see.
boils down to.
Just different interests through
Hmm. Hmm.
your period of doing your
Yeah,
paintings. Um,
yeah.
do you, do you work like in projects? Are you planning like exhibitions and try to put your art out there and
Oh,
try to work in
yeah.
series?
I would really like to do that.
Hmm.
I just feel okay. So someday I would love to do that. At this point, my art is a big part of my income. So it's really what helps me, pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not able to paint as quickly to have a stock of paintings that I could put in an exhibition at this point in my life. At some point, I would like to do that, but I also am a very shy person,
Hmm.
and I feel like I would feel very
No,
overwhelmed
that's
by
good. I usually
people.
talk to people that they have experience in exhibiting and stuff like that. So it's
Hmm.
and I remember the time of like when I wanted to do it, but I was shy and I try. And then for whatever reason, I didn't do it. And
Hmm.
it was my first exhibition. It was really exciting, and
Yeah.
the whole process. So I think it's really important for people to young artists to kind of like heard that the process before, and not just successful
Yeah.
artists and the whole like I've done this is my hundreds exhibitions. So it's
Right.
I
Exactly.
think it's nice to talk about that as well. um
Yeah.
so what it's about the exhibition itself, is that putting yourself out there that it's kind of like it's difficult for you to see.
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming.
Mm,
Even, just sharing my paintings online is 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 a lot, because it's really sharing a piece of yourself with a lot of people. Um, and so, but I don't have to see their faces when they
mm.
see my paintings.
It's
Whereas,
easier.
yes, at an exhibition, um, I would have to see facial expressions as well as receive any e- actually positive feedback is hard for me to receive sometimes.
I see.
So yeah, so that would be maybe challenging for me, but I don't know that it would be impossible. I would like to do it at some point in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even like start with something big, small. I don't know,
Hmm.
even find like a cafe or something nice, a cute
Yeah.
place where you can put your stuff up and try to, you know, see your first experience how it is, and if you like it or if you don't like it at all, and maybe try to another time when you feel a little bit more comfortable.
More
Um,
comfortable. Yeah.
I completely agree. It's people don't realize when you do an exhibition that's literally like that's such an intimate thing that
Yeah.
painting it's a literally part of you. It's part
Hmm.
it's your time, it's your struggles, all those like emotions like all compressed in this painting. And just
Yeah.
people, oh, this is a pretty picture. There is so much more after like the aesthetic of the picture. And when you do an exhibition, it is stressful. You feel like you have to be everywhere. You feel like you have to talk to every single person that's there.
Yes.
And kind of true, and it's uncomfortable, but I'm pretty sure you will be able to do it. Your paintings are great, and people will love it. You will see that. Yeah, your first the first step. It's always It's always,
The
yeah,
hard one,
restart the
yeah.
hard one. Yeah.
Yes.
After that, you realize it's just part of the process.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm,
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
no, it's
We'll
for
we'll
sure.
see what happens.
Yeah. Please, yeah. Let me know.
Yeah.
Do you I'm assuming you don't really prefer talking to about your art with people.
A lot
Like,
of
okay, yeah,
I do talk about it. Yeah, a lot of people ask me about it.
that's great.
Yeah, no, it's and I do like sharing about it for sure. And I don't do it in the presence of others
Mm,
usually because I'm usually doing it at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
mm,
Um, but I do like to share about it if someone is interested, kind of very casually. You know, I don't want to impose
yeah.
myself on anyone, so I don't bring it up really. Uh,
Mm. Like maybe in like a more intimate like setting, it's easier
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
It's easier for you
yes,
to
yeah,
talk about. I see.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you are you it's really curious your position. It's like you using your art to, relax and release,
Hmm.
which
Yes.
is I think it's at the core of doing art, and then it becomes a business, and that's when it's not really too fun anymore.
Hmm.
But yeah, you're in the great stage of like, oh, you're just doing art because you love to do your art. um
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you
That
do you
does
s-
take some of the pressure off.
for sure, do you see yourself like try to push in that direction, like in a business, or for
To be
now
a full
you,
time?
yeah, to be a full-time artist maybe, or kind of try to do like both full times, and yeah.
I think for now I will continue the way that
Mm,
I'm doing things because well one I actually I love my day job where I work with kids, but it's also yeah, I get kind of the best of both worlds, you know. I get two things that I love very different from each
mm,
other. And and I think that creating um allows me an outlet because my job can be, you know, it
yeah,
takes a lot of myself as well. So it offers me like a balance kind of, you
I
know.
see.
So
I
I
see.
like it the way it is now. Yeah.
Let talk a little bit about your process. It's so you did you use picture? Do you take photos of like these rooms and of this landscape, and then
Hmm.
you like crop it maybe, and then you start painting from the photo?
Yep. So I also find I participate in some art challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I find other like you know there's a lot of interior accounts online
Mm,
that share rooms. I use some of those as reference.
I see.
I use my real life as reference. So it really just depends on the situation. And my process is really well, right now I'm actually trying to maintain a daily practice. So make even just like something small. It doesn't need to be painting. I like using oil pastels as well, and I
Mm,
like just sketching. So even sometimes when I'm at work on my break, I'll do a little sketch of something that I may end up later painting or doing something with oil pastels, just so it's like you know, it's part of my daily life, and I
yeah.
kind of like exercise. It makes me feel better when I do it. When I don't do it, I feel um kind of down. Like
Mm,
there's something in my day that I didn't do, you know? I don't know how to
yeah.
explain that, but but that's my current process. I wake up very early in the morning, just kind of randomly, like my body just wakes up at that time. And I use that time to be creative in some way before I go to work. So and I kind of set the scene for myself. I make my coffee. I listen to a podcast or a book or sometimes music too. And that kind of just, it's kind of like, romancing myself in a way. I'm trying to set the scene for myself. And then I just really get immersed in it that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the daily practice, it's
hmm
so important to master a skill, to kind of keep your head in that space, and just there is some people that I met through my experiences. They can just do it at any time, and they will never
hmm
change the quality, and they will never change the standards they of the like of the drawings or the painting or whatever they do, and they can just do it. Personally, I think more there is a talent on, like, obviously, but there is a lot of practice behind. I do practice
hmm
every day, sometimes for hours, and I don't even realize most of the time. I just check out, and
Yeah.
and then I wake
Yes.
up, I'm like, wait, what? Wait, it's been 4 hours.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of need to do it daily. I kind of need to do it at least,
hmm
like, yeah, try to do it every day, because it's really important for an artist to have that fresh mind of think as an artist, if
hmm
if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, what you do, yeah, keep doing it. It's a great thing to keep, yeah, to keep up
To
with it.
keep up with. Yeah, for
Mm,
sure. Absolutely.
mm.
Yeah.
So do you have I'll end of this, do you have anything planned for the future, obviously art related? Um, and if you want to plug anything, I saw that you have an Etsy shop. If you want to plug your Instagram, anything that you want, go ahead.
I don't like, I think I'm just, in the summer, I will be not working because high school
Mm.
is not in session. So I think I'll just be focusing on painting a lot, really, and continuing what I'm doing. I would like to in the future do some portraits with acrylic. So
Amazing.
that is something I would like to do. I've done a few in the past, but I don't really share them because they're of my own face. So, but apart from that, I don't really have too much planned. I just am enjoying like the present and day
Hmm.
by day. Yeah, I don't think I have much more to share. Thank you for your questions and for
That
reaching
was
out to me. I appreciate it, and it's very
my
nice.
pleasure. I will put yeah, all the links for your Instagram and for your shops, all in the description, so people can go and follow your art, which is amazing. Keep up with it. It's great. Love the talk. It was great, and thank you very much. Part of the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.